welcome back to House Take on Sports. This is the second House Take on Sports. If you watched the first one and you're coming back to watch the second one, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to do. And if you're watching this for the first time, thank you as well. Hopefully you'll find that I am pretty good with my knowledge on sports and my opinions, my takes, and hopefully you enjoy them as much as I enjoy giving them to you. Let's just be frank. It's me giving my ideas to an audience that I probably don't know. A lot of people I do know, and those people have given me great feedback. Thank you very much, everybody that has given me the feedback. It's been wonderful. Definitely appreciate it. If you like the video after it's done, please, right below the screen, little thumbs up right there. It's a like button. Like that. If you want to leave a comment, please, right below the screen, box right there, type in your comments. Definitely appreciate that. That'd be really cool. A lot of people have been giving me text messages, phone calls, emails. Appreciate it still. And don't stop. Everybody's got a lot of good feedback, and I appreciate it. So we have 5 topics this week that I want to talk about. Number 1 is the college football playoff picture. And the second one, the NFL Combine leading into the NFL Draft. The third would be the start of the baseball season and spring training coming up. The fourth, the collapse of the Atlanta Braves last year down the stretch. And the fifth would be the Boston Red Sox collapse down the stretch last year. 2 worst in history. So to start off with the college football playoff picture, I think we need to start off by talking about bowl games. A lot of purists don't want to get rid of the bowl games, but there are far too many. I love bowl games. I really do. I love going. I love watching. I love college football. I can't get enough. Can't get enough. Love watching it. Used to go to the Holiday Bowl every year when I went to San Diego, and I've been to a Senior Bowl multiple times, which is more of an all-star game. But I've been to a few other bowl games as well, like every one of them. But 35 last year, far too many. 35 allowed UCLA, who played in their conference championship game, inaugural Pac-12 conference championship game, got blown off the hinges by Oregon, 49-31, and it wasn't even that close. They went to a bowl game with a 6-7 record. 6-7. Bowl games are supposed to be rewards for good seasons. So I say this, cut out 10 bowl games right now. I know it's a big impact to these cities, but honestly, who's traveling to Shreveport, Louisiana in the middle of December? Who's traveling to Boise, Idaho in the middle of December? I have nothing against these places. I really don't, honestly. But I'm not going there to watch a bowl game at that time of year. Especially when it's 2 teams that, honestly, outside of the fans, the parents, nobody really cares about, especially civically, locally, you know. Just cut out 10 games, add the 4-game playoff. Final 4, just like basketball, with the following championship game 1 week later. And guess what? You got viewers. You have people really interested. So, I would be. The second thing I want to talk about is the NFL Combine, which is actually going on right now, as I speak. I've watched about as much as I can outside of work, and a couple of things stand out to me. The quarterbacks, the top 2 quarterbacks, Robert Griffin III from Baylor, and then Andrew Luck from Stanford. Both really smart quarterbacks, Andrew Luck being a product of an NFL pro-style offense to begin with, so he's got a little edge right there, you know. But Robert Griffin III probably throws a better deep ball, is clearly faster, 4.41, 40-yard dash at the combine, with Andrew Luck running a 4.67, which is still good for a quarterback. Luck, great broad jump, great vertical leap, but Robert Griffin, just a better thrower downfield. And I think, honestly, he's going to end up being a better intermediate passer, too. Not only that, but he can get out of the pocket. He can create. This guy can make plays with his feet and that cannon of an arm. I wouldn't hesitate taking him number 1 over Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts. But I'm not an NFL guy. So with that, there are 4 guys that actually stood out to me so far at this combine that I was not expecting anything from. 1, Stephen Hill, wide receiver, Georgia Tech. And honestly, I should have known more about this guy because he plays in my backyard here in the Atlanta area. But I'm not a big Georgia Tech fan, so I didn't know about the guy as much as they should have. This guy is blazing fast. Really good speed, cuts well, great hip turn. This guy gets upfield, catches everything thrown his way over the head, follows the ball into his arms so well. This guy, extremely athletic. He's going to help himself out tremendously from this combine. I don't know how he's going to interview, obviously, but just from an athletic standpoint and how he's playing here, this guy's going to make himself some money. The second guy is Orson Charles, also locally, tight end from Georgia. Didn't realize what this guy was. Great hands, great blocker, and I can tell you right now, this guy's tough, strong. Seems like a smart guy too. The third guy is Kashif Moore, wide receiver from UConn, University of Connecticut. Didn't know who this was at all. Didn't pay a whole lot of attention to Big East football this year because it just wasn't a whole lot of fun to watch, to be honest with you. Excuse me. This guy, great speed, just like Stephen Hill, but his hands aren't as good. He seems like he's dropped a few passes he probably shouldn't have at the combine. Nerves, sure, has something to do with it, but still, he's going to have made himself a good amount of money at this combine. The fourth guy, a beast, Don Terry Poe, defensive tackle from Memphis, 346 pounds. This guy ran a 4.87 40-yard dash. That's faster than half the quarterbacks that ran. The guy at 346 pounds shouldn't be running that fast. Very agile. He reminds me of Ndamukong Suh. High praise, I'm sure. But man, this guy can be disruptive. Gets off the ball quick. Great agility, incredible strength, serious speed. So guess what? Smart football player, you get him late, you know, you may be getting something really special there. So watch out for him too, Dante. Spring training is about to begin. All the players are in camps, with the position players finally showing up this past Friday. The St. Louis Cardinals, they are the reigning world champions. They lost Albert Pujols, possibly the greatest baseball player, you know, of the last 20 years. You know, outside of maybe Alex Rodriguez. This guy, over 11-year career, has averaged 328 with 40 homers and 120 RBIs over 11 years. So guess what? He went to LA, to the Angels, where they're going to pay him $250 million to try and duplicate almost that same span. Can he do it? Maybe at this age it's a little tough, you know, getting into you know, when he's at the end of that in his early 40s. That may be kind of hard. But how does this impact the Cardinals? I don't think it's necessarily going to take them back. David Freese, the World Series MVP, has a full year to play this year if he stays healthy. The guy's a 300 hitter, okay? Lance Berkman played out of his mind last year. It's a lot to ask him to do the same exact thing he did last year, but the guy's such a good hitter. He has good hands and he's great vision, you know? He sees right through pitches. And not only that, but he's learned to play different positions to kind of help himself, you know, elongate his career. Matt Holliday absolutely crushes balls. So you're good there. They went out and got Carlos Beltran. Now, he probably shouldn't be paid $26 million in the next 2 years, but the guy will hit 20 to 25 homers, play very good defense, and steal some bases. So, overall, St. Louis offensively, not taking a step back. You know, you're going to lose a little bit, don't get me wrong. You can't lose Albert Pujols and not lose, you know, a little bit, but I honestly think if Wainwright stays healthy, Chris Carpenter stays healthy, they find somebody to fill out the back end of the rotation behind Loesch and Garcia, and their bullpen comes along, the Cardinals will be winning the Central. And if they don't, if by chance they don't win the Central, they will compete for that wild card spot. With that, a team to look out for will be the Washington Nationals this year in the National League. Ryan Zimmerman just got a huge contract extension, $100 million. Jason Worth had his worst year last year after signing that big contract coming over from Philadelphia. He had 238 with 20 homers last year. If he can kind of creep back up to those numbers he had in Philadelphia, you're looking at a potent lineup with him and Zimmerman over on the other corner, you know. And then you have guys like Espinoza, their rookie, who's setting the table for him, and Detweiler, one of the young guys, you know, pitching, Clippard. Steven Strasburg's back this year, and if he's any bit Steven Strasburg, they have their ace. So guess what? Washington, in kind of a kind of a transitional period right now where they're going out and getting some baseball players and kind of mixing them in with the young guys. They may be pretty decent. And then at the end of the year, you might see Bryce Harper. Now, if you don't know who Bryce Harper is yet, you might want to look on YouTube, okay? This kid, I'm not guaranteeing he's going to light up baseball, but if he has played any bit in the minor leagues, in the major leagues, like he's played in the minors or in college, this guy is going to be a stud. So we should play for my team. So with that, there's one team I think that's probably got it in the American League running away with it. Detroit. That's my pick. Just because of Justin Verlander, that offense, and adding Prince Fielder. Granted, he's getting paid a whole lot of money, $216 million. You never know. He may sit back a little bit and kind of live off that. But if not, him and Cabrera, man, that's going to be a staunch offense. And it should be lots of runs scored, lots of shutouts from Verlander. I think Detroit's going to be the best team in the American League. Now we go on to my fourth topic, my fourth headline, the Atlanta Braves collapse in 2011. The Atlanta Braves were one of the teams that were, in my opinion, actually overachieving, even though they had guys that could win baseball games for them. Yeah, Dan Uggla and Freddie Freeman came on perfectly. He was a rookie, but Jason Hayward, Martin Prado, Chipper Jones, Brian McCann. Last 3 games, all-stars. Last year, Martin Prado, not so much an all-star. Jason Hayward, not clearly, nowhere near an all-star. Terrible follow-up to his rookie year, which was really solid. I will say that if Hayward comes back healthy and has his swing back, Uggla doesn't start off like he did last year, Chipper stays the slightest bit healthy, Martin Prado's not going to hit 260 again. Not going to happen. Brian McCann's not going to fall off the ladder again. That's not going to happen. The back end of the rotation with Eric O'Flaherty, Johnny Venters, and Craig Kimbrell, best in baseball. No worries there if the guys stay healthy. The front of the rotation, Tim Hudson, from what I understand, he's still out right now. Would you get him back, pair him up with Jair Jurgens and Tommy Hanson, who should both be back at full strength. A couple of these young guys in the back end of the rotation, guess what? The Braves are not going to be that same team. The Braves may win 90 to 95 games this year. And they'll compete East, but it's going to be tough, with what Miami did, the new Miami Marlins, getting Jose Reyes and bringing in Mark Burley and Heath Bell and Ozzie Guillen and paying everybody all that money in the new stadium. A lot of excitement down there. That's going to be tough to kind of overcome. And then, of course, the Phillies are still the Phillies. The Nationals are an up-and-coming team. But the Braves, if nothing else, will compete for that wild card spot. And finally, not to be outdone by the Braves' worst National League collapse in history, the Boston Red Sox had the worst collapse in baseball history. 9 games. 9 games now last month. That is almost impossible to do, you would think. So what did they do? They got rid of Terry Francona. And I wasn't a big Francona fan because I think he let the players get away with far too much. How do you let guys drink beer in the clubhouse? Especially when they have a game coming up. So they brought in no-nonsense Bobby Valentine. Now, Bobby Valentine, no nonsense as far as players go. He has his own nonsense. That's neither here nor there, but he's going to bring an approach to the game where he's going to expect the best. Probably, he's going to get the best out of these guys. If Jacoby Ellsbury, Dustin Pedroia, Adrian Gonzalez, if they play at half the level, not half, 75% of the level they played at last year, Boston's offense through the roof. You throw a David Ortiz healthy, and he's hitting, and then if you get Carl Crawford back, after that terrible season last year, if you get him playing, part of what he was in Tampa, that offense is going to be clicking. And then John Lester, at the beginning of that rotation, that Boston is going to be a very, very good baseball team. Now my pick, obviously, in the American League, that's the Detroit Tigers, but I think Boston will be in that second, third range.